All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, New England Patriots 8-8, 4-4 on the road at the Buffalo Bills. Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, 34 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 9 miles per hour. We'll start with the line history here in this one. Patriots, Bills. The Pinnacle, of course, not opening it up. So we'll move over to Bet Online and see how they handled this. Buffalo opening up at minus 10.5, now minus 7.5. It did go down to 7, now at 7.5. If you have never had an account at Bet Online, if you use Pub Sports as your code, they will match you up to $1,000 American for a bonus. Total wise, this opened up at 43.5, now at 42.5. We'll go into the cash flow here. For this one, it'll be very small. 912 tickets in, so no help at all there. Patriots are a win and in team. So if the Patriots lose, the Dolphins can get a spot with a win over the Jets. If the Patriots and Dolphins lose, the Steelers can get the wild card spot with a win over the Browns. If the Patriots, Dolphins, Steelers all lose and the Jaguars lose, the Jaguars get the number 7 seed. So, and if the Patriots, Dolphins, Steelers lose and the Jags win the AFC South, then the Patriots are back into the number 7 spot. But the Patriots can quell all of that with a victory here. They come in off a 23-21 win at home over Miami. Patriots offense struggled again, finished with just 249 total yards. They were 2 of 2 in the red zone and didn't turn the ball over, but still. Jones was 20 of 33 for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns and no picks. Tyquan Thornton caught 3 for 60 and a touchdown. Hunter Henry 5 for 52. And Jacoby Myers caught 6 passes for 60 yards and a touchdown, but he left with a shoulder injury. He has come out and said that he expects to play this week. Ramondre Stevenson had 8 carries for 42 yards, caught 2 for 9. The defense was strong, held the Dolphins to 4-14 on third down. Kyle Duggar returned a pick, 39 yards to the house, and Jonathan Jones also had a pick. The pass rush finished with 2 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. New England was without Jalen Mills, defensive back Jalen Mills, Jack Jones, and Marcus Jones, along with Devontae Parker and Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith, they both have concussions, those two. And it left Jonathan Jones and Miles Bryant as the starters at quarterback, and they look pretty good. I mean, it's easier against Bridgewater and Thompson, but so we spoke about the situation with when we discussed the Bengals game. At this point, we don't know what's going to happen with the Bengals-Bills game, and but we know that the Bills can clinch the number 1 seed in the AFC if they get 2 wins, or a win at the Bengals and the Chiefs lose, or a win versus the Patriots and the Chiefs and Bengals lose in Week 18. So there's still some chances to get that number 1 seed in the AFC. And they've a bunch of injuries. Micah Hyde, being out, and Von Miller done for the year. A bunch of guys on IR. Tommy Doyle, Jamison Crowder also on IR. And Christian Benford was activated from the IR this week. So he could help them a lot. He sustained an oblique injury a while ago. And Jordan Poyer was listed as questionable last night, and he was good to go. So another game with a ton of moving parts. Patriots, Bills. Andy, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, just off the top, I'm not going to bet this game. Like, it's really hard to understand if the Bills just come out here and lay a complete egg and they're flat, I mean, no one's going to blame them. They're just going to, I hate to even use the word excuse, because excuse has some negative connotations to them, but they have that, that excuse. It's like, well, how do you get up for a game after that? On the other hand, it might just be the rally around this guy, do it for him. Where, that was a teammate. It's so weird. Like you picture like happening to a coworker, and it's just not the same. Like, this is not just a coworker. You got to battle with these guys every week. Like it's almost like a family member. So maybe there's some sort of rallying cry, around him, and they play very well. But like, it's really hard to figure out what kind of mental state the Buffalo Bills will be in. And not only that, but they don't even understand, like if they're going to play another game later, if they got to play like a Week 19 game, which would be awful weird, because in most cases that game would be for a bye, So if they lose that game, they got to get into then they'd have to play the next week. If they win it, they'd obviously get the week off. Not sure if they'd push a week back or something, but someone did some math on basically every single scenario in week 18 here between all the AFC teams. There's no scenario where that Bills Cincinnati game wouldn't at least have some bearing on the seedings. Like there's no combination of the games that can happen this week where that game becomes meaningless. So I feel like they kind of have to play it. So Buffalo's in a weird spot. It's 7 and a hook. Like I said, it's a decent teaser leg, but man, it's tough. It's tough to it's tough too. Like maybe the Bills feel a little jilted by, if they have insider information about the league telling them they're going to just call it, people are calling for it to be calling the game not happening. Like after fighting all season to play this well, beating the Chiefs, winning your division and not being able to give it a chance to play the 1 seed, I'd be pissed off too. So if they know that, they might come out here with their hair on fire and just beat the shit out of a division foe who honestly doesn't have much of an offense. Go look at these Patriots scores. Yeah, they're winning, but the last 3 weeks they've had a defensive or special teams touchdown. I keep saying it's not sustainable, but they've done it 3 weeks in a row. So I'm expecting Buffalo to win this game, but like I said, it's hard to know where their mental state is after something like that. And no bet on this one.
It's very hard to know where they stand. So, but I imagine that in the long run, and I mean 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, this will galvanize the troops. In the short term, I don't know either. And in any time you kind of cap these things, where it's more than an injury. It's very tricky how players handle something horrible, something horrible.
Yeah, and even back to the the Bengals game, like T. Higgins is shook. Like I know he'll there's plenty of time for him to sleep that off and think about it and talk to someone about it. But man, like he was shook too.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be just being involved in that play. I worry about that guy's mental state right now. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tricky, and the stakes are high for us to succeed. And I don't feel like an angle I can trust. I do think the Bills could be. I kind of lean towards them being vulnerable early, and then really rallying around it after a couple weeks or so. But even that, I'm very hesitant to move on. Spenny Pennybaum's a big Patriots fan. Says, as a fan, I'll just watch and see what happens in this game. Might take points for the Pats, but only lean right now. Dan Kelly says the Pats are the perfect opponent for the Bills after the trauma. Opportunity to knock the Pats out of the playoffs will bring them back. There's some definite truth to that.
And and I know there's some Patriots fans, but I would like the Patriots to not be in the playoffs. They're not a very good team. Like their defense is good, but they need to add a few things, especially some wide receiver help to be a watchable football team. So there's better team. Honestly, the 7th seed in the AFC might not be very good. Might not be good in the NFC either, but I wouldn't mind the Patriots not being in the playoffs this year. And it's not like a team I haven't been betting on here and there, but yeah, it's not a team I'm excited about in the postseason.
That loss just really fucked me. $762 swing.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a little mad at them, but their defense playing like that when I needed that under too.
Oh God, and then losing the -2.5 too is just very very tough. Let's move on.